Are you thinking about downsizing your house and you're wondering, a little bit overwhelmed and wondering where to even start? Then stick around, you're not going to want to miss this video. My name is Megan Schoner. I'm a local real estate agent here on the Treasure Coast, and I love helping people like you every single day find and sell your homes here on the Treasure Coast. So whether or not you're looking in the next 9 days, 90 days, next year or two, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help you find your treasure of a home here on the Treasure Coast. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about downsizing. This recently came up. As you guys know, my oldest daughter is in college and my son is a senior in high school. And so my husband and I were talking about, what are our next steps? What does the future look like for us? Is this house really right for us? And then I was at my book club the other night, and a couple of the ladies were talking about the same thing too. Their kids have already graduated, starting to get married, and they were saying, you know what? I think I've kind of outgrown this house, or I think I'm ready for the next step, but I have no idea even where to start or to begin with that. And so I thought I'd make this video to give you guys some helpful tips and tricks. But again, always feel free to reach out to me, give me a call, send me a text. I would love to answer any questions that you guys have. So the first things to think about, and when you're thinking about downsizing, is obviously the financial reasons for it, right? So you want to figure out, how much is it going to cost to sell my current home? And really, what is the value that I'm going to be getting if I do sell my current home? So in that case, if you're here in the St. Lucie County, Treasure Coast area, reach out to me. I would love to meet with you. It doesn't cost you anything. You're not taking up any of my time. It's no problem. But meet with a real estate agent. And if you don't have one that you're working with in another part of the country, I've got a fantastic resource, amazing agents across the country that I would love to connect you with. Reach out to me. Happy to send you that information. But first, start with a real estate agent. Figure out not only what can you get for your house, how long is it going to take to sell in the current market, and then also ask for a seller's net sheet. On this net sheet, it will break down everything, all the closing costs. So it'll break down the commissions. It'll break down any, like maybe taxes that you owe. What is the closing costs and closing fees associated with selling your home? That way you have a realistic number. And again, this can be something just that you have an idea, maybe you're, a year out or 6 months out or so, and you want to know what can you get for your house and how much are you going to walk away with after you pay off, if you have a mortgage on your house, and the real estate commissions and taxes and any other fees that are associated with that. So definitely find out what it's going to cost to sell your house and what you're going to walk away with. And then sit down and talk about, what do you want to do with the equity that you have in your current home? Do you want to use all of that money to purchase your next home? Do you want to use part of that money and then maybe use the rest of it to put into your savings or to fund your retirement account? Just kind of sit down and with your partner or with yourself and really go through all the finances to see what makes the most financial sense. The other thing too, in terms of financial, to sit down and look at, what are your current expenses? So what are you paying in your taxes, your insurance, any kind of maintenance that you have on your house? Is there an HOA that you're currently paying? Just so you have kind of all of your ducks in a row, basically, to know what you're currently paying on your house, and then you can roll that into, if you do sell it. Also, that helps you get a better idea too when you're purchasing something else, to compare kind of apples to apples. So if your taxes were X here and they're going to be this Y over here, you at least know to factor all of that stuff in. And then the other thing too is to always talk with your accountant, so you find out if there's any capital gains tax or anything like that you need. And then here in the state of Florida, we also have portability. So portability is, let's say and it's anywhere in the state of Florida. So let's say you were down in Miami, you want to sell that house, and you want to take your tax savings basically from that house to the new house. Reach out to me. I can connect you with our property appraiser's office. They're fantastic, and they will give you a complete breakdown of what your taxes will be and how much you can bring in terms of your portability. But that's something a lot of people don't know about, and it's anywhere in the state of Florida. So that can be a really big tax savings. You guys have heard me talk in my videos. You guys know that the millage rate here, the taxes in St. Lucie County are high, probably one of the highest in the state. So people hear that and they get really scared about coming to Port St. Lucie. But if you have portability, that is one way to really cut down on your taxes besides the homestead exemption. So those are the things in terms of financial things to consider. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty, the nuts and bolts, and more of the logistical things. I like to use the word right sizing instead of downsizing. Here in Florida, I work with people all the time that are what we call downsizing, and their idea of downsizing, maybe you're coming from the Northeast where you have attics and basements and you're used to a 4,000 to 5,000 square foot home. So you come down here and maybe downsizing or right sizing is a a 3,000 square foot home versus someone here that lives in Port St. Lucie and maybe they're used to, a 2,200 square foot home and they're looking for something about, 11 to 1,200 square feet. So I like the term and the idea of right sizing, because really it comes down to you and what is the right size for you. And so really, what does that look like for you? Do you need extra bedrooms? And the other thing I say too, because I work with a lot of people that are 50 and older and moving down here to right size, and they say, I've got all my my kids and grandkids and they're going to be down here and I want to make sure I have extra bedrooms for them. Talk to your kids first, because what I'm finding and hearing from a lot of my clients is they think that the kids are going to want to come down and visit often, but the kids are saying, you know what, Mom and Dad, get the 2-bedroom with a flex room. If we come in town, we're going to stay in a hotel anyway, or we're only going to be in town for like a weekend at a time or something, and it's no big deal. We'd rather you have the house that you want than to get a larger house filled with extra bedrooms. So make sure to have those conversations with your family, because you might be surprised. And then also, where do you want to be? Do you want to be close to friends and family? Do you want to be close to the beach? What are activities in this next stage of your life that you are looking forward to doing? Do you need to be near the beach, or do you want to be at a golf course? Does it make sense to be part of a gated community where you have neighbors that are there all the time? Maybe you're not going to be at the house all the time, so you would prefer to have a secured manned gate. Is that important because you want the security of your house and your area? So again, just things to think about. And then now the fun stuff too. What do I keep and what do I get rid of, right? So let's say that you're going to be downsizing to a smaller place. This is the perfect time before you get your house on the market. Go through your house, find things that you absolutely love, and want to bring those. What I'm finding here, at least in the Florida area here, is with a lot of people that come from other areas and their furniture is bigger and heavier and darker, and it looks fantastic in some of these homes in the different areas, but they come to Florida and say, you know what, I just want to start over. I just want fresh and clean. There's different looks, blues, whites, just different styles and stuff here. I don't want any of my old furniture. So what a nice thing too is, if that's what you're thinking, don't spend the money to spend on a moving company to move furniture down here that you don't really want. Maybe it's better just to sell it up north, get rid of it, give it to friends and family, and then not have the big moving expenses and come down and purchase new furniture down here. It happens all the time. But use this time to go through and figure out, okay, what are things that you really want or you need, and you're gonna be moving anyway. Put all that stuff in the garage if you can. I know when I do listing photos, I never take pictures of the garages unless by some chance it's some guy who's really, really impressed with his garage and wants me to take a picture. But it's fine to store stuff in your garage while you are getting ready to move. It's no problem. The other thing too, when you're talking with I know a lot of times people will ask the question too, how do I time selling my current home with purchasing another home? I don't want to sell my house and not have a place to go type thing. So there's lots of different options. And again, when you first meet with your real estate agent, and hopefully it's me, that's something to ask them too. You want to find out how long our house is on, what are the days on market? How long does it take for a house to sell? How long does it take for a house to close? Down here in Florida, if it's a cash transaction, it can close in 2 to 3 weeks. Financing can close in about a month to 6 weeks. That's our average closings here, about a month to 6 weeks here in Port St. Lucie. And I know, working with some of my clients coming from other regions of the country, closings need to take a lot longer. Maybe they're dealing with attorneys and stuff like that. So find those things out so you can better plan for it. But in terms of how do I purchase something while I'm also trying to sell my house, one of the things too, before you actually put your house in the market, you can talk with your bank and find out about a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. If you do this while your house is on the market, it throws up red flags and it's not a good thing. But you can do it ahead of time, and basically you're using the equity in your home, and you can use that as a down payment for the next home. That way it gives you some flexibility. You're basically having to pay yourself back, but it gives you the flexibility to be able to purchase a home and not have to sell yours contingent on that. The second thing is talk with your mortgage lender and find out, can you carry 2 mortgages? You may not want to, but is that something that is financially feasible, for the short term? That way it gives you, again, more flexibility, a little bit more breathing room to be able to purchase that next home while you're still trying to get your house sold. The other thing that I've seen people use part of their 401k to use towards the down payment of the house. Again, you have a certain time limit that you have to get that paid back, otherwise you have a lot of penalties. Something again to talk to your financial planner about, but again, another option. And then there always is the option of the bridge loan. It is a good option. Basically, the mortgage company lends you the money and then you have to pay it back with some fees and different fees and interest and stuff like that. So it is a little bit more expensive, but again, a good option, gives you that peace of mind. Other thing you can always do too is you can put your house on the market, and then if it goes contingent, let's say you go under contract, then you can put an offer on another house contingent on the sale of your house closing. When you do that, please make sure, at least here in Florida, that the house that is under contract, that you are not only under contract, but you are also through the inspection period. If you try to put an offer contingent on the sale of a home and you haven't put your home on the market, 9 to 9.5 times out of 10, the offer is not going to be accepted. It's just too risky for the seller of the current home that you're purchasing. Another thing to think about too is before you put your house on the market, I always recommend to my clients to get a pre-inspection. This is something I work with a lot of great inspection companies. This is something that's, I think it's about $300 to $400. So with this pre-inspection report, you will get back the full inspection report and you'll have a chance to go through it, look at any issues that came up and have a chance to fix any of those. And then what it does too, when you do list your house, it gives you an extra advantage because you can publish the inspection report and provide that to the buyer. So that's a savings of a couple $100s to the buyer. And you can show, listen, this was the inspection report and these are all the receipts and the work that we were done to fix everything. So Mr. and Mrs. Buyer that's coming into my house, not only did I save you money with the inspection report, but you know that everything's been taken care of already. It gives the buyer some peace of mind on that. A lot of times I'll get the question too, what do I do with all my furniture? I don't want to move it. And should I sell my house furnished or should I sell it unfurnished? It really depends on you. I've done both. I've sold houses that are furnished, some that are unfurnished, and some that are furniture negotiable. If you're in a condo or you're in like an oceanfront condo or a 55 and older community, a lot of times people do want the furniture because they're using it as a second home. It's one less thing people have to worry about, and that's a great thing to do. I usually like to tell people that if you're going to leave the furniture, let's just say that furniture is negotiable. And then what we do with that is we negotiate it outside of the contract. If we put let's say you and the buyers agree to $5,000 for all of the furniture. If we put that into the contract, then now your value of the house has to go up $5,000 on an appraisal, and you have to pay commissions on the furniture cost. So I always just leave it outside of the contract. It's between you as a seller and you and Mr. Buyer, and you guys can work out exactly what's included in that and pay for that separately. And then the last thing in terms of furniture and clutter and all that stuff, we have decluttering services. We have cleaning services, all of those things. We can help you set up, movers. So whatever you really need help with, reach out to your real estate agent. Hopefully it's me. If not me, happy to set you up with somebody else that is another fantastic resource. But reach out to your real estate agent. I always tell my clients too, because people get overwhelmed, all the time. I try to make everything easy. That is my job, to take off the stress from you, make your moving as easy and enjoyable as it can be. Same thing when we do the photos. I style my listings, so I have all different types of props and things I can bring in to make the house a little bit homier if we need to. I help move furniture if we need to for the photos. Honestly, I just make everything really easy. So if you are thinking about selling, things that are important are definitely making sure your house is clean. Try to declutter it as much as possible. Fix any major repairs that need to be coming. Pressure wash. Really those things are kind of like your biggest things. And again, get that pre-inspection report so you know what's behind the wall, what a buyer's going to find, and you can get ahead of it and fix it. So if you are thinking about downsizing or right-sizing here to the Treasure Coast area, I would love to help you. As you see from my videos all the time, every week, there is a plethora of different opportunities and options in our area. Whether or not you're looking for that 6,000 square foot home on the water, we have manufactured homes, we have gated communities, we have 55 and older communities that are active, quiet. We've got condos, townhomes, villas, new construction, resale, homes with pools. So a little bit for everyone, and all kinds of price points. So if you are thinking about making your right size move to Port St. Lucie, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help you.